that if an act was titled, quote, an act to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to modify the first-time home buyer's credit in the case of members of the armed forces. You might think that if that's the title of an act, that it would concern something about the first-time home buyer's credit, perhaps even members of the armed forces. And depending on the content of it, it might even be an act that Senator Lee and I together would support. And yet, think again. That act is Obamacare. This is the 2,000 plus pages of Obamacare, a little bit worse for wear. And right on the cover of it, on page 1, December 24th, 2009, ordered to be printed and passed. Resolved that the bill from the House of Representatives, titled H.R. 3590, entitled An Act to Amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to modify the first-time homebuyer's credit in cases of members of the armed forces and certain other federal employees and for other purposes, do pass the following. And then what was the amendment that was done? Strike out all after the enacting clause and insert. So everything about the first-time homebuyer's credit, everything about the armed forces, that all got erased. Title stayed there. But it all got erased, and suddenly Obamacare was born. Now look, that was a creature, that was a fact that came out of the procedural games that had to be played to force Obamacare into law in a straight party line vote. But I would note that this body has not forgotten how to play those games. And indeed, I would ask, again rhetorically to the body, is the game that the Democratic majority of Congress played in passing Obamacare, saying it was not a tax when in fact it was a tax when it was not a tax, any different than what right now some members of the Republican conference are doing when they say they will vote for cloture in order to give Harry Reid and the Senate Democrats the ability to fully fund Obamacare, and that they will do so because they want to defund Obamacare? Is that fundamentally any different? Presenting one story to tell the voters and a different story in terms of what will happen in this body when